All right, I haven't been on the radio much lately, so I don't have any radio videos, but I've got this this used battery I got for free and this 1,000-watt inverter, and I just thought I would show how to charge the capacitors inside of any of your electronic devices, like this inverter or an amplifier, 12-volt amplifier, or inverters. A lot of them have big capacitors inside, and you may have noticed when you connect the hot wire to the battery, it makes a big spark. Well, sometimes that big spark can actually cause damage. In some cases, it can hurt the capacitors. In other cases, like this battery with internal protection, could damage that. If you have a fuse in line, it could pop the fuse. The reason being, capacitors can draw a lot of current quick. And if you have big capacitors, you can blow a fuse on your power line. Or you could even pop a trace on the circuit board. If you know what a trace is, little thin metal strip on the circuit board. You could pop the trace just like a fuse. It'll burn it right in half. Happens a lot in the car stereo industry when people hook the ground up and they have the hot hooked up first, and they'll burn traces in amplifiers, EQs, head units, you name it. Anyways, the reason I was making this video is because I've seen a lot of videos on YouTube where people say you have to buy this resistor to charge the capacitors. Well, you don't. If you have a test light, or even just a tail light bulb, a headlight bulb, anything that you can run the power through, I'll show you how to do it. I clip this on the hot wire instead of putting it on there making a big spark and maybe causing damage. Just hook your test light, power it through your test light, and watch this. It's going to get dimmer and dimmer and dimmer. Charge the capacitors. And now you can take your hot wire and you can put it on the battery with no spark. The other thing I want to point out is that when you disconnect something like your amplifier or an inverter, those capacitors in there are still charged up. And guess what? If you've ever done it, disconnect something and let the hot and the ground touch, guess what? You get another big spark. That can also blow the fuse, damage the circuit board or protection, or the capacitors occasionally. So put your test light back on the hot wire, and we'll pretend this ground is disconnected. And look at that. There's the capacitors lighting the test light. But they will drain, and there we go. They're drained. Now you don't have to worry about making a spark. See that? You don't have to worry about making a spark if you touch those. So, charge your capacitors through a test light or a light bulb. Discharge them also when you're done, if you disconnect something, so you don't have to worry about it. And have a good day. Hope you learned something.